from the previous speaker.
So, it's not popularly known. Hopefully the Bremen Museum is going to have an exhibit about resistance, okay? So we have a chance to go see it. You're going to see the evidence of it. The quotations, don't let yourself be led like sheep to the slaughter, was coined by a head of a unit partisan during the Wilno Ghetto uprising, okay? He was telling people we have to fight because, they're going to do away with us anyhow. And don't let you, he coined this particular phrase. And eventually, they went into the forest, that the ghetto was destroyed, including his mother, okay? But he became a partisan fighter. He was a writer and a poet. He died in Israel, okay? So it's not factual when we talk about the lack of uprising, okay? Right. So, yes, sir.
How do you get the pictures?
Which pictures?
You showed 1919, who did you...
When the war ended, the only thing I had is my rags. I had no pictures. These are pictures that family had. The pictures that you see that I'm standing with the four fellows in 1941, when I was in the camp, my cellmate, slept next bed to me, had his sister on Aryan papers, on Polish papers, living outside. And we used to correspond because some of the people that worked, some of the Polish people, they used to mail for us, and she used to send it. And I corresponded with her. On the back of that picture is what I wrote to her, my unknown friends, and after the war, his sister gave it to him back, and he gave it to me. That's how this picture survived. The other pictures, the pictures that were relatives in Israel had, okay? That's how I got some other pictures, okay? The picture of my class, there's a fellow who's sitting on the left side. He survived in Russia, okay? He survived in Russia, and he had some belongings. So he gave me this particular picture. So, but I had nothing. I came out, I was just, I looked like a newborn, no hair, no teeth. I looked like I was a newborn when the war was over.
Were you marked with a number?
The common perception of survivors is that they're marked with a number on their left arm, forearm. There were only 2 camps where they tattooed. One was Auschwitz, including Birkenau, where they tattooed the serial number with Auschwitz was A, was Birkenau, which was subsidiary of was a B. The other camp that they tattooed was in my camp. What they tattooed was not the number. They put the 2 letters KL, which are the initials of a concentration camp in Germany is a Konzentrationslager. The first initials is KL. So before they tattooed it over here, we didn't have striped uniforms in the camps. We wore regular clothes. And we had big yellow, maybe 2-inch wide lettering KL on our jackets, okay? So this way we could not escape. The other way that they protected themselves from us escaping, they shaved our hair, they left about 1 inch high, our hair, and then they ran what they call Lausenallee, a lice alley, the reverse mohawk to our hair. Okay, so we went outside, everybody would recognize it. In 1943, when they brought a new SS major to our camp, he told us that we're going to be tattooed with the KL on our forehead. And unless we turn in all our valuables to him, he's going to tattoo it on the forehead. So they collected whatever anybody still had, hidden jewelry, money or whatever, we collected it all, we brought it in. And when it was shown to him, he says, "That's it? Where's the gold from their teeth? Unless you give me the gold from their teeth, I'll take it out from their dead bodies." So the dentist that we had in the camp, people had, crowns and everything, we pulled out the gold, and we gave it to him. And then they tattooed this on their forearm. And 1945, the end of 1945, he was apprehended on a German-French border. I have the newspaper clips. Supposedly was 8 sacks of gold. I don't know how big the sacks were. There may be little pouches of gold, diamond, jewelry, whatever. Apparently he was able to buy his freedom. And he disappeared. In 1978, he was found in Argentina, extradited, brought to Germany, and put on trial, sentenced to life in prison. And he passed away in 2004, the best that I remember. The thing that I most remember about him, he had a son, a little boy. Before he came to our camp, the SS guards came in before him, and they came, to build a barn for his horses. And they told us what a heroic man he was. He supposedly liquidated the town of Rzeszów, and he himself executed about 600 people. And he gave his gun to the 5-year-old child to shoot children. Well, the barrack where he lived, it was just across the road from the entrance to our camp. I used to work night shift. One morning they wake me up and they said, "You have to go to the Hauptscharführer's barrack. The kid's toy broke down, see if you can fix it." So I went over there, and it was a little tank, wind-up, little tank, you had to wind up. The spring broke, and I was on my knees trying to take it apart, see if I can fix it. There's a little kid, at that time he was 6 years old. He kicks me in the behind, and he says in German, "Mach schnell, Sauhund, sonst bringe ich dich um. Hurry up, you dog, otherwise I'll finish you off," okay? I have never been able to find out what happened to him, okay? Because it was very difficult for children of tyrants and of people who were guilty of crimes. How the children grew up knowing, if you go on the Amazon, you can buy a CD called Inheritance. I don't know how many of you have seen Schindler's List. Okay. If you have seen Schindler's List, you remember the young lady who works for the camp commandant for Getz, who was his mate. Well, her name is Helen Rosenzweig-Jonas. She's a good friend of mine. I mean, the real life person. And I remember the year she got in touch with the daughter of the commandant of the Warsaw camp from Schindler's List, and invited her to come down to Poland from Germany. And Helen and her daughter and the daughter of Getz spent some time together. It's the most profound, heart-wrenching picture, because here they're trying to establish a relationship, and here the daughter of what she called the monster, she called her father monster, and she's trying to come to terms what transpired, trying to understand what happened, and here is the victim, okay, trying to make it easier for her, I mean, it's one of the, I mean, it's a study in human nature and in psychology, and it's a fabulous, I mean, you can get, it's Inheritance, they still have it, because I just bought one for the head of education from Bremen. What was I? What were we talking about?
The Inheritance. Was it a movie or DVD?
What?
The Inheritance.
Was it a DVD movie?
Yes, the DVD, sweetheart, yeah, Inheritance.
We were